I'm with Stifel, Director of Investments, Eric Roberts. So we had another down day today.
We did, Michael. The S&P 500 closed 2% lower at 5,580. The Dow fell 715 points, or 1.7%, closing at 41,583. The Nasdaq declined 2.7%, closing at 17,322. That does leave the three major indices lower for the week. The S&P 500 gave up 1.5% this week. The Dow closed 1% lower, and the Nasdaq ended the week 2.6% lower.
And we got some new inflation data.
Yeah, that inflation data weighed on stocks today. The core personal consumption expenditures index, which excludes food and energy prices, increased 0.4% for February. That suggests a 2.8% annual rate of inflation for the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. Consumer spending accelerated 0.4% last month, while personal incomes rose 0.8%.
That is Stifel, Director of Investments, Eric Robert. Thank you. That's the Wall Street Wrap on KMOX.
Clouds and mild temperatures for any evening plans. Evening temperatures in the 70s, 60 for the overnight low. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, but there will be some scattered showers from time to time. A windy 75. Saturday night, clouds, some showers, couple of thunderstorms, windy and 64. Sunday, periods of rain and some thunderstorms anytime during the day Sunday, but the best chance for strong to severe weather will be Sunday afternoon into early Sunday evening. Windy and 75. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We've got 76 degrees. The feels like is 70 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Have you been injured in an accident? You need a personal injury law firm that wins. Onder wins. For over 100 years, we've been fighting and winning for St. Louis. $5 billion in negotiated settlements? We've got it. $300 million in verdicts? Done. Voted best law firm by STL Today 2 years in a row. Onder wins all the time. Car accident, trucking accident, workplace injury. No matter the case, let Onder win for you. When the stakes are high, we're the team you can trust. Wondering what your case is worth? Call now for a free consultation. And remember, we don't get paid unless you win. Dial 314 or 618-9-million. That's 9, then all zeros. Or visit onderwins.com today. Onder Law. Winning is what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit ConsumerCellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, things are looking a little better downtown. This traffic reports the service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. They picked up that emergency repair work westbound 5570 and near 64. Traffic's still slow back through 203, and then it jams west of there to the Poplar because of a recent crash. But it'll continue to improve. Eastbound 44, that's delayed from Jefferson to the Poplar. 64 from Union Station to the bridge is slow. Westbound 64 back up Kings Highway, running out through McCausland, slow to Big Bend. In St. Charles County, it's still busy from 364 out to 70. Westbound 70 is wide open until you get west of Lake St. Louis, and it's just kind of heavy out past 61. South 270 is clear. Southbound 55, just a little busy. Gasconade Bates. There's still slow stuff, though, midway from M to Z down through about McNutt, so it's still busy in Jefferson County. 99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. For same-day garage doors for repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Next update at 5:20 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
News, traffic, and the latest on the Redbirds. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
It's Friday on the Redbird Rush Hour here on 104.1 KMOX. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you for the first part of the hour, and a lot to get to. Obviously, reaction to opening day, but not necessarily reliving opening day since we're more than 24 hours removed from the start of yesterday's game. But a lot of cool baseball stuff for us to break down in this hour. How you guys doing today? Everything good? We doing
Wonderful.
Doing great.
Yeah, everybody's happier with a win. And obviously, it's just 1 out of 162. It's not really going to change much. But I did want to throw this at you guys coming out of opening day. What did you guys see from yesterday that you think is the sustainable stuff? Stuff that can stick around for a little bit, assuming guys are doing their jobs?
I would say the basics in that you're always capable of playing really good defense. You're always capable of playing heads up baseball. You're always capable of kind of forcing the issue a little bit. You're always capable of taking patient at bats. There was a lot of really fine qualities, but basic qualities that were woven into that win. And that's what I loved about that performance. It's kind of routine stuff, but we've seen so many teams all around Major League Baseball where they don't take care of the routine stuff. They sort of take it for granted. And I saw a team yesterday that was very much locked in on doing the routine things and doing it well.
Yeah, for me, it was a lot about the approach. I thought we saw good at bat after good at bat after good at bat, 1 through 9. Like, there was nobody who I just thought had a bad day at the plate. And we'll see how that plays out here moving forward. But I've taken issue with the Cardinals' approach at the plate in recent years. So the fact that in the first game of the year, I thought the approach, the pitches that were taken, the swing decisions that were made, all those things for at least one day seem to be vastly improved.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting thing. I mean, when you can't judge good or bad from one game. If they had lost 11-0 yesterday, it doesn't tell us anything about how the season's going to go. Just like a 5-3 win doesn't tell us everything we need to know. But I do think there was some minor confirmation that if your top few guys perform at all, and they're not going to be, what is it? The top 4 guys what were they? 6 for 16 with 2 home runs. Like, that's not going to happen every game. But if the top 4 or 5 guys are going to be on base regularly, I think this thing can go because you have contact guys behind them. I was really encouraged to see Nolan Arenado get some positive feedback in the opener. I know he's a guy that presses when things don't go well, so maybe that helps him relax a little bit to start.
He was super happy about the fact that he was able to turn on that fastball, Bernie.
Yeah, well, I thought that was one of the highlights of the day because this is a 97-mile-per-hour fastball, and it was thrown in a kind of a nasty location too. And this pitcher's really strong.
Yeah.
And for Arenado to be able to turn on that thing and fire it into the left field seats was really, really impressive. And Matt, I wanted to back you up on something and maybe elaborate on it. One of the highlights, there were a lot of highlights yesterday, but how about 2 of their youngest hitters? Jordan Walker having a 9-pitch walk, and Ivan Herrera having a 10-pitch walk. I mean, I think that's really. I think that's a really good sign. It's one day, but it was a really good sign.
Now, if I remember right, I think we talked about this a good bit last year. The Cardinals struggled with fastballs. They saw good fastballs yesterday. Not just Nolan Arenado against Griffin Jacks, but Pablo Lopez has a really good fastball, and they did a good job. Walker may have hit it on the ground, but he hit it like 115 miles an hour.
Wasn't it 117?
It was crazy. Yeah, it was one of the hardest hit balls of the day in Major League Baseball. And, none of those at-bats were against soft tossers. Sands throws really well. Tope is a hard thrower, although we only saw him a little bit at the very end. But I don't know if that means anything because, again, it's one game, but that's not something we saw a lot last year.
Yeah, and I think, we're bouncing around, which is good. I like that. We'll keep it moving. I thought Jordan Walker had a really nice ball game.
Yeah.
Like working a couple of really good at-bats. He had a single, and he kind of forced the issue trying to steal a base. Got into third base where Nootbaar hit a 2-run bomb. I thought he looked comfortable in right field. Now, granted, there weren't any like extremely difficult chances, but he just looked comfortable. There wasn't any really bad body language. And I also love the fact that Victor Scott and Walker were very much on the same page. And that's another difference on Victor Scott. Sorry. He's taking charge, and that's what center fielders have to do. He took charge yesterday. He was running the traffic out there. And, last year he was kind of a nervous 23-year-old. I get it.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of maturity there from quite a few of their younger players.
This is going to sound really dumb. I know it is, but I'm going to say it nonetheless. It's never stopped.
They're going to win the.
No.
Matt's like printing the World Series tickets behind the scenes here.
I like guys who have swagger playing with swag. And one of the things yesterday is Scott makes that catch. And then what does he do? He runs across the track and he's whipping his arm around. You got to be feeling yourself to do that. And I like guys who do that. So I thought that was I think even the reaction to it showed the confidence that he's got right now.
Yeah. And the overall energy of the team. And listen, I know they should be energetic and enthusiastic. It's first game.
Right.
But I think, and maybe I said this on the Dave Glover show, Wheels. I think we're seeing, this is in progress, but I definitely think we're seeing a vibe change. And I definitely think we're seeing the younger players taking ownership of this team. Not it's just like, hey boys, we're in charge. All you veterans get away. It's
right.
not that.
Right.
But they seem like they realize it's kind of our time. And if we're going to pull this team together and move it forward, we have to take the lead on that. And part of that is setting the vibe. Part of that is setting the tone. Part of that is making sure that they hold each other accountable. Don't rely on the veterans to do that. Paul Goldschmidt's gone. I think these guys are having a really positive impact on Nolan Arenado. You saw it in spring training. You saw it yesterday. Boy, it seems like he's carrying a lighter load around. And I'm not talking about his off-season training and the weight loss. He just looks like he's lightened up. He's laughing in the dugout. He's smiling. Now, we'll see how it goes when he gets into a slump. But you know what I mean, right?
Absolutely.
I think the kids are a good influence on the old guy, right?
Yeah, look, it's one thing to be a veteran-driven, business-like clubhouse in 2006 or 2011, and when you have a ton of all-star veterans, right? When you got Albert Pujols and Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright in his prime and Yachty, that's fine. This isn't that team. This is a team that needs the young guys, and maybe they're more comfortable with that, knowing that the front office, that the ownership has said, this is the year that we're going to be leaning on these guys more. Therefore, they don't have as much to tap dance around. All right, Bernie Miklasz is with us. Matt Pauley is with us. We're going to keep Bernie around for one more segment. Matt and I are here until the end of the hour. It's baseball talk, Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFloorandOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report is a service of Volley Inc. Downtown continues to improve, but there's still slow traffic on westbound 5570, 203 in pockets through 3rd Street. Then it's still jammed to the Poplar due to a recent crash. Eastbound bridge traffic from the Missouri side over to 3rd Street slow, and eastbound 44 because of it from Lafayette onto the bridge is still pretty busy. Westbound 70, barely a slowdown at Jennings Station. A little busy approaching Zumbo. The heavier traffic from A out through the Z area in Wentzville. Westbound 64, you've still got heavy traffic from about the Science Center through Bellevue, and in St. Charles County, it's a little more solid from 364 out to 70 than it was earlier. North 270, Dorset midway up to 70, slow. South 270, a little busy at Ladue, but otherwise clear sailing down to 55.
Volley. Level up game night with Volley, the smart TV app for playing games like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, or test your knowledge with fun music quizzes and party games. Turn your TV into the ultimate game hub with the Volley app on your Roku or Fire TV. Download it and play today. Volley.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today, Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Joint pain does not always require joint replacement surgery. Blue Tail Medical Group can see if your joints can be saved without expensive and risky surgery that keeps you off your feet for weeks. Dr. Bay's Crane and Wolf can help your joints regrow soft tissue, improve flexibility, and reduce pain. Our proven results can be dramatic and long-lasting. Patients include athletes, veterans, or anyone with age-related wear and tear. Let Blue Tail Medical Group see if regenerative treatments can help you. Schedule an appointment at 636-778-2900 and visit them at bluetailmedicalgroup.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. Are you thinking about upgrading your internet in your home? Probably a pretty good decision to do so if maybe you're with the cable company or you're with some of those big companies. i3 Broadband, it's amazing. They provide the home internet at my home. Super fast. They always mirror their upload and download speeds, which is a really big deal. You won't realize how much faster your internet can be. Plus, it's reliable. The customer service is great. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Put your address in at i3broadband.com.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
All right, Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX. 104.1 KMOX, which sounds even better. Matt Pauley, Bernie Miklas, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We got a few more minutes with Bernie, and then obviously Matt and I will be hanging around till the top of the hour.
Bernie, I wanted to give you a little grief if that's all right.
Sure.
I know you can handle that. I read your column today over at Sports Hub STL, and you opened up by saying that sports talkers need to not remind folks that it's only the first game of the season.
Writers too.
I can tell you, yesterday, if the Cardinals would have lost that game, my post game would have been filled with people calling in saying that one game means that it is the end of the world and the end of the season. So with all due respect to you, Bernie, because I love you, there are times to point out that, yes, it's just one of 162.
Well, yeah. But it just occurred to me that I say that a lot, and I hear other broadcasters, and I see writers say it a lot. And it's almost like we're being defensive.
Yeah.
Because we say, like, well, the Cardinals won 1-0, nice game. And it's like, oh, there you guys go again. You're on the team payroll, And
you're so right.
But it's like, and as my dear friend Matt Pauley said it, and if they lose, of course, we are all, the first game, we are all expected to demand the dismissal and imprisonment of everybody, But I always think it's kind of funny because who the heck doesn't know that it's like a 162 game season, right? Like, in other words, it's like, oh, wait, the season's not over. Like, well, when did they bring in the schedule where they play a lot of games? When did that happen? I mean, it's like, it's the things we do. I think it's okay to make fun of ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let me. I'm gonna throw. We only have a minute here, but let me throw.
That was a good one. That's great, man.
Let me throw this at you guys because this is a legitimate topic that happened on a legitimate sports station today in Boston with a former professional athlete. Was it the quarterback Zolak, who's on the show? Is it time to panic about Rafael Devers?
Oh my goodness.
Literally the topic of the day today, and they promoted it on Twitter. What are we doing? Yeah, that 4 or 5 time All-Star who's in his 20s. Yeah, let's worry about him after one day and a spring training run.
See, that I can speak to this having worked in Wisconsin where Packers are number 1. People try to apply football logic to baseball, and I would think it's largely that way in Boston because of the Patriots.
So that's why Zolak's doing that, because he's a football guy.
Right. Here in St. Louis, we're a little more refined when it comes to our baseball knowledge.
Guys, we're the best fans in baseball.
Yeah, we really are. And But I got to say, Contreras going 0 for 4. They got to get him out of that 2-hole yesterday. They got to put him. By the way, you guys will appreciate this. And tell me when to shut up because I know you got
about 20 seconds.
Wilson Contreras yesterday, he saw 22 pitches. Like he worked counts.
He did.
Sometimes the game's just not fair, right?
Yeah.
Like he had nothing to show for it. He took some of the best at bats on that team yesterday.
That's awesome. Bern, have a great weekend. Unless you want to hang, you're always welcome to hang, man. This door is open for you every single day, anytime you want.
Well, I told you I'd stay, and I told Mrs. Burney, so I'll see you at 6. But I can leave.
No,
if you want me to stay, I will.
We want you to.
I'll be a contributor. I'll be quiet.
No,
until I'm called upon.
If you're quiet, I'm going to be mad at you. You got to stay with us. All right. So Bernie's going to hang. Matt Pauly, Kevin Wheeler with you. It's the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Celebrate the 35th anniversary of the iconic 1989 film Batman in a whole new way as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra plays the score live to the film. Projected on a larger-than-life screen, the blockbuster starring Michael Keaton as Batman comes to life at Stiefel Theater. See the film and hear the SLSO performing Danny Elfman's thrilling score. April 4th and 6th at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at slso.org. Batman and all related characters and elements copyright and trademark of DC and Warner Brothers Entertainment Incorporated.
Soybean biodiesel blends keep heavy-duty trucks, trains, tractors, and marine vehicles running year-round. Soy-based biodiesel has increased the price of soybeans by 10%, increasing farmer profitability. Every gallon supports farmers, strengthens communities, and cuts dependence on foreign oil. These economic benefits don't stop at the farm. The biodiesel supply chain sustains more than 3,000 Illinois jobs. Find out more at illsoy.org/farmer-resources. Paid for by the Illinois Soybean Checkoff Program.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts can take the guesswork out of your vehicle's check engine, ABS, or maintenance light with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got double trouble now on southbound 270. All of a sudden, things change quickly, folks. We have an injury crash southbound 270 just before Doherty Ferry. It's blocking the two right lanes. Traffic is a solid jam back north of Manchester. And then there's another crash in the center lane, southbound 270, near the Tees Road overpass, midway between Tesson Ferry and 55, and it's jammed at Tesson Ferry to that one. So a lot can change in 10 minutes. That's what you're looking at now there. Now, other highways are looking a lot better. Westbound 70 is a little busy at Jennings Station. There's some slow stuff coming off the 270 Ramsgate on the westbound 70. And then west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Z, some pretty congested traffic on that run. Westbound 64, Hampton out through McCausland is slow. In St. Charles County, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70, the heaviest stuff there. South 55, a little busy. Gasconade Bates, north of Z down through McNutt towards A. There's a couple of slowdowns. Eastbound 44, Lafayette up to the Poplars heavy. Both directions is 64 between 70 and the bridge. Westbound, a jam, though, from a recent crash. I'm Roger Brand in the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
5:30. The news is sponsored by Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got 76 downtown at the Arch. The Cardinals are hoping you'll be able to wage on games this season, depending on when gambling legalization rules are approved in Jefferson City.
I think it'll be something that fans learn about this season, figure out how they want to do it, if at all, and then in the fall, as we get later into our season, it'll actually be, okay, we're going live. But, a lot of our fans have already been doing it.
To that end, Cardinals president Bill DeWitt III tells KMOX the vote in favor of sports gaming was highly yes along the Illinois and Kansas borders. A South St. Louis County Catholic elementary school has announced it will close at the end of this school year. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports it is St. Simon, the Apostle School in the Green Park area.
In announcing the closure, Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky cites declining enrollment as the reason. Currently, 70 students are enrolled for the 2025-26 school year, including one grade level where only 3 students have enrolled and another with a single student. Archbishop Rosansky says the Archdiocese will provide placement assistance to St. Simon faculty and staff as well as enrollment assistance to families who wish to place their children into other Catholic elementary schools. St. Simon Elementary School has been open for 65 years, serving students from South County, St. Louis City, Fenton, Arnold, and other areas. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
O'Fallon, Missouri's Jinsey Rose is among the women hockey players who will face off at Enterprise Center tomorrow for the PWHL's Takeover Tour. Rose is a defender for the Ottawa Charge, who'll be taking on the Boston Fleet.
The women's game is as good as it's ever been.
PWHL Executive Vice President of Hockey Operations, Jana Heffert, says they want to leave a community impact.
The idea of an open practice or a camp or a clinic for young girls or young boys or autograph sessions, we're really committed to how we engage with our fans and make sure that the experience they have either at a game or at an appearance or an event like that is meaningful.
And Heffert tells KMOX that the league is open to expansion. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 60, sun and clouds tomorrow, scattered showers, high 75. Right now, 76. The feels like is 69 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text MIND to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MIND to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MIND to 200-300. That's MIND to 200-300. MIND to 200-300.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and
All right, Redbird Rush Hour, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler, and our buddy Bernie Miklas hanging out with us here on a Friday. No ball game on a Friday, which is unusual, but obviously they always build these off days in after opening day in case of bad weather. We'll get into some deeper stuff in the next couple segments because they're a little longer. This is a pretty short segment here, so I think we can make this one simple. I think this is a Victor Scott great catch appreciation segment. That is one of the best outfield catches we're going to see this year. That was a 10% catch probability on that ball in the right center field gap yesterday. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that there's a belief that I think I agree with this. I don't know that he makes that play last year, even with the great speed. I mean, he had to get a great jump, his angle didn't vary. His path, his route didn't vary at all when he was making the beeline to the spot where he picked that ball to be. That's a great defensive play.
Guys, if you listen to what's being said, like there's key points that are out there. And whether it's Scott, Siani, Nootbaar, you know what Ollie kept talking about all during spring training? About guys being able to run to a spot and then pick up the ball at that point, as opposed to running while tracking the ball at the same time. Because if you're not tracking the ball, you can run faster and get there. That is obviously a point of emphasis that John Jay has with these outfielders because it kept being talked about over and over and over again. And I think that was a good example on that catch yesterday.
No, I agree. He is so much more confident and firm in his actions in the batter's box in center field.
Yeah.
He's firm. There's just no like uncertainty where you see the guy you see his eyes light up a little bit like he's not sure what to do. It's amazing. It is a beautiful thing when guys in sports, but let's keep it at baseball, where all of a sudden one season to the next, we go from 23 to 24, but it's almost like you've added like 5 years of maturity in a baseball sense. It's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. And again, we got about a minute left here, so we can touch on this briefly. We had Mo yesterday on our Kegs and Eggs show. Dave Glover and I had a chance to talk to him, and I asked him about how coaching staffs have gotten so much younger. And he joked about how when he first came in, pretty much everybody on the coaching staff was a gray hair. And now they're not. They're guys that are recently retired. And I think it's interesting that these guys like John Jay and Daniel Descalso and all that, they speak the language of the players they're coaching.
I feel like John Jay had to go play a major league game. He could do it tomorrow. I mean, you just look at this guy and he still looks like he's ready to go.
No, I totally agree. And there's still some old timers on coaching staffs, and those guys are usually really beloved, and yet they dispense that old school wisdom that players need to hear every now and then. It's good stuff too.
Well, it all matters, right? I mean, I think the point is I'd love to have a staff that's a little bit of all of it. You know, I don't think you want to have everybody super young or everybody super inexperienced, but having some guys that are on the younger side that maybe some of the current players actually watched play. Right. And then you can have the veteran guys, the coaches that have been around a little bit, dropping that wisdom that you're talking about. It's fascinating. All right. We want to talk a bit about a number of things coming up. We're going to get to the adaptability of veteran starting pitchers. We are also going to talk a little bit about some pregame booze, touch on that a little bit later on. So it's Bernie Miklas, it's Matt Pauley, it's Kevin Wheeler. It is the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com traffic center.
Well, 270 suddenly got busy. This traffic report's a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We have injury crashes on South 270 before Doherty Ferry in the right lanes, and on South 270 midway between Tesson Ferry and 55. Looks like they've moved it over to the right lanes. The jams, South 270, Clayton Road down to the Doherty Ferry crash, and from Sappington down to the crash south of Tesson Ferry. There's also a minor crash north 270 north of Dorset. They were clearing to the shoulder. It's still a little bit backed up there. Westbound 64 Hampton through Bellevue's kind of slow, and from Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70, there's busy traffic. Westbound 70, a little slow coming off the 270 ramps, then just from A to Z in Wentzville. Southbound 55, Gasconade debates a little slow around Z, and south of McNutt toward A, there's a couple of heavy spots. Eastbound 44 slow up to the Poplar. The Poplar, both directions between 3rd Street and the bridge is heavy, but the westbound side jammed from an earlier crash. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com traffic center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
All right, right back at it. Bernie Miklas, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you on the Redbird Rush Hour 104.1 FM. By the way, we've had a couple questions about whether or not this hour is being podcasted. It is. So if you go to KMOX.com/Cardinals Conversations, you can get the podcast there, and it will be everywhere else all of our podcasts are, right? It will be on Spotify and Apple Music. It just takes time for them to process all of this. It's a brand new show that's just been created, so it's taking a little time on that side to get everything up to speed. But that's going to happen for you as well. All right, let's talk about veterans and pitching in general, right? I mean, power arms are the story. Power arms matter. We know it. Velocity matters. Swing and miss matters, and all of that. But I got to say, it was one thing that I think we've all appreciated in the day. Let's say go back to maybe 2022, 2023, watching Adam Wainwright still pitch and pitch competitively, even though he wasn't throwing 94, 95. And I thought it was really interesting to see Sonny Gray coming off a bad spring. Things weren't good. He was saying out loud, they're not good. The fastball's not what I want it to be. But he comes out against a pretty good lineup, and he figures it out because he's got adaptability. And I really hope that adaptability is something that younger pitchers start to pick up on, because you're not always going to throw 100. You're not always going to throw 97. And you can't just be incapable of getting people out on days when your fastball is not what you want it to be.
So he tops out yesterday at 92.2. That was on a sinker. His four-seamer topped out at 91.8. So neither of those numbers are especially good. Throws 77 pitches. This dude mixed yesterday. 21 sinkers, 16 sweepers, 16 curves, 10 cutters, 9 four-seamers, 5 changes. That's what he did to be successful. You don't have velocity, you go find a way, and Sonny Gray found a way yesterday.
He's the epitome, just like Wainwright was in his final few years, few good years. Wily veteran, savvy veteran, just epitomizes people that know how to. They know themselves. They know what's working. They know what their weakness and limitations are. So they're like ready to go and find different ways to just confuse hitters, befuddle hitters. Like Sonny Gray yesterday, his sinker was down about more than a mile an hour where it was last year. And and I'm sorry to be numbers nerd, but there is a point to it. Like the hard hit rate on his sinker yesterday was 75%, right? The exit velocity was like 99. But you know what? He knows how to move it. He knows how to make it tail. He knows how to do this. He knows how to do that. And they went 1 for 8 with a couple of strikeouts. Like, in other words, yeah, they got some hard contact shots in there, but it's like landing a punch and it just grazed him. It just didn't really, it really didn't bother him. And the other thing we got to say about Sonny Gray, he loves to pitch at Busch Stadium.
He does, yeah.
Man, his numbers there now, it's 17 starts after yesterday, 2.83 ERA. He doesn't allow hardly any home runs, got a high strikeout rate. I'm going to be really curious about Sonny Gray on the road this year, because if his stuff is a little bit reduced, he was vulnerable last year on the road. He got beat up pretty good.
It's funny. But so was Waino in those years too.
Yeah, that's right. Good point. But he loves Busch Stadium. I was joking around saying, well, that's why he basically say, no, I don't want to be traded. No, I'm going to keep my no trade clause. He doesn't want to leave half his starts at Busch Stadium.
That's a good point.
I don't blame him.
I mentioned this on DGS earlier. We had Ricky Horton on. So that fastest fastball that he threw, that 92.2, I think it was, that was the 116th fastest pitch thrown in yesterday's game.
That's great.
That made Ricky double take, because obviously in the time Ricky played, 92 was pretty good. Right, you're throwing 92 and you're not doing too badly, but there were 115 pitches thrown faster than that yesterday. And of course, look, there were hard throwers. That's right. Pablo Lopez is a hard thrower. Griffin Jacks is a hard thrower. Ryan Helsley threw the 8 hardest pitches of the game last night.
Chris
in one
Roycroft threw hard.
Roycroft was throwing hard. So, there were a lot of hard throwers, but that's the modern game, man. But to be able to navigate, you can do it. And there are other guys that do the same thing. And I really hope that that's a skill that's that these younger guys are going to pick up on as they go, because the emphasis here in the last 10 years has been so much on grip it and rip it. You do need to learn some of that finer point of how to pitch when you are not at your best. And, look, maybe Sonny Gray couldn't have done it when he was 23 either, but something tells me he had some aptitude even coming out of Vanderbilt to do some of those things.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch him pitch. I also appreciate his whole demeanor, his whole style.
Yeah.
I like listening to him talk. there's a lot of depth there, and he's thoughtful.
Yep.
And he's a little eccentric, and I mean that in the best possible way. Those like veteran pitchers should be a little eccentric.
And then they could be like the rest
the
of
older
us.
guys. Yeah, I mean, you listen to him talk, and it's like, wow, that's kind of his tone of voice, the way he phrased that. It's like, is he all there or not? Is he out? Is he dreaming a little bit? Like, he's just an interesting guy.
Absolutely. That's Bernie Miklasz. Matt Pauley's with us. It's, of course, the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX. Stick around. We're going to talk about some of those pregame boos up next.
Hello, Stacy again from Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living, telling you about our spring special. Move by the end of April and get a great discount off 3 months' rent. Not ready to move? No better time than the present to start planning. Come experience the environment at our 50s Sock Hop featuring Trilogy on Thursday, April 17th. RSVP to 636-754-2317 or visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds. Glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading
On 104.1 KMOX, Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. So there were some mild boos. I didn't think it was really bad when John Mozeliak was introduced. I think a little bit with the DeWitts as well. And I just wanted to throw it out there with you guys because, number one, I don't really mind in that setting if people boo a little bit. I mean, it'd be a little crazy if it was over the top. I don't mind any of that stuff. I don't feel defensive or bad for people in positions of power. I mean, Mo's been joking about it, right? In the pregame yesterday, he was joking about, what he would say if he was going to make a little speech and all that. I think they understand all that. The only parts that I don't like, and I'm sure you guys get this too, is when you get stuff on Twitter or whatever where it's personal, where it's like those arrogant jerks. I'm like, all right, you know what? I mean, like if you're, and, I'm sitting there yesterday next to Mo, right? We talked friendly conversation, joking around before the segment. With all of the things we've talked about this offseason, all the times I've criticized their lack of action on player development, all the times I've criticized their lack of movement or the mistakes they've made, Mo doesn't care. He gets it. That's the job. When you win the World Series and you're executive of the year, everybody's praising you. When you're not living up to expectations, you get hit. We all know that's true. We get yelled at when we don't do a good job. Players get booed. That's all fine. What I don't like is when it becomes about personal stuff.
I thought the dynamic of when Mo got booed a little bit was interesting because they had just shown a video honoring him and showed many of the great moments that the Cardinals have had during his tenure. And then they announce him and he walks out of the dugout and a spattering of boos starts. But then a lot of people start applauding. And I think in that situation, a lot of fans felt like, okay, this isn't the moment to boo. And I thought a lot of Cardinals fans
kind of responded to it.
Yeah, we're actually trying to cover up the booing by applauding at a louder level. I was standing in the radio booth, so I wasn't out in the crowd, but that's the way I viewed it from where I was at.
I think John Mozelle, like to echo you guys, I think he understood it, and I actually, in a way, thinks he gets a kick out of it. Bill DeWitt III, I mean, he cares, but it's not going to bother him. What I found interesting is Bill DeWitt Jr., who's 83 years old, and I've known a lot of owners, including one who used to have a football team here, but I've known a lot of owners. And when they know they're unpopular, when they know that basically they've ticked fans off or the fans have turned, they hide.
Yeah.
You don't see him. You never see him. And Bill DeWitt Jr., 83 years old, they're booing him a little. He just in a dignified way, walked to home plate, shook hands with the Red Jackets, glanced at everyone, waved. When the new Cardinals were coming through, smiling at every one of them, shaking their hands. And then the other thing, I got to get this off my chest. So tell me to shut up, Wheels.
We have 2 minutes.
Okay. But I got to say this. Listen, no one has criticized Bill DeWitt more than me. And I'm talking about criticism that's not insane. Like, in other words, I don't care about becoming a cowboy hero on some kind of dunghill social media site, right? but I understand the frustration. Like, they let things slide and it didn't have to happen. They really kind of, metaphorically speaking, dropped the ball in a big way.
Yeah.
But we live in this attention span society where if something didn't happen 12 minutes ago, it doesn't count. I mean, this guy took over in 1996 when the franchise was really kind of having a hard time. And even with the bad years baked in, the Cardinals are fourth in the majors in winning percentage with him as owner, second in the National League in winning percentage. They led the National League in most postseason games played in, most postseason victories, 17 playoffs. Only the Braves have done that more in the National League. They've won 18 postseason rounds in a wild card game. 12 division titles, 4 National League pennants, 2 World Series titles. Don't even get me started on all the great players that have been here during the DeWitt time. So let me see if I get this straight. So you have a few disappointing seasons and you're fed up about some things. I get it. What? The other stuff no longer counts? It's erased from history? That's the stuff that just drives me bananas because it's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Bill DeWitt won yesterday. He won that yesterday. They booed him, but he had a great time yesterday.
Fantastic stuff. All right, speaking of great time, this is awesome. Bernie, we love that you're hanging with us for the whole hour. Hey, like I said, anytime you're on the schedule and you want to hang, you're in. You don't even have to. You just stick around. You're in.
All right, all right. I tell you what. About midnight tonight, let's do another one.
I'll be ready. I'll be up.
Go.
I'll be up till 2. So let's go. You guys have a great weekend. Everybody tuning in. You have a great weekend as well. This has been the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
The
The easiest way to park on game day is with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking lots in St. Louis. iParkit has